Many people spend years building a life only to realize the goals they've been chasing were never actually theirs. This is the false path, adopted to please parents, satisfy social media trends, or mirror a generic success. Operating on this path creates a constant psychological friction. Because the desire is grafted on from the outside rather than rooted in your authentic self, every attempt to move forward feels like a struggle against the natural current of your own consciousness. Most attempts at reality creation stop at the surface. Beginners often rely on occasional positive thinking or visualization, hoping for quick results without changing their underlying state. This leads to inconsistent breakthroughs that rarely last. Chronic struggle is often a signal that your creative focus is misaligned. If every manifestation feels like an uphill battle, it's a symptom that the reality you're trying to build doesn't match your actual life's task. Robert Greene's study of history's greatest minds reveals that commanding one's reality requires a specific long-term discipline known as mastery. This isn't a matter of luck, it's a process of deep engagement that mirrors the development of any high-level skill. Consider Charles Darwin. His impact on science came from an obsessive, decades-long engagement with a specific niche. He didn't rely on raw talent alone, but on a relentless observation of the natural world that eventually allowed him to see patterns others missed. To an outsider, the insights of a master can seem almost supernatural. In reality, these powers are the result of a repeatable psychological journey, moving from a period of intense learning to a stage where intuition and knowledge finally merge. The blueprint used by these historical figures to revolutionize their fields is the same path required to master reality creation. It is a transition from being a passive observer to an active architect of your experience. Entering this path requires letting go of your old identity. The roles assigned to you by family or culture must genuinely cease to be your organizing principles. This creates a void that, while uncomfortable, is necessary for your authentic calling to emerge. This leads to the apprenticeship phase, a period of disciplined, daily practice. Here, you focus on the fundamentals, learning to hold a mental state, managing emotional triggers, and maintaining creative focus under pressure. During this phase, you will encounter the gap. This is the painful space where your inner vision, such as a sense of abundance, is met with an outer reality that shows no immediate change, like an empty bank account. While an amateur might see this delay as a failure and quit, a master recognizes that this resistance is functional. Maintaining your internal state in the face of contradictory evidence is what builds the mental strength necessary for long-term creation. Discomfort and apparent delay are not signs of a broken process. They are the exact conditions needed to forge the unshakable emotional control that high-level creation requires. A master values the development of creative skill over immediate external rewards. While others chase money or objects, the apprentice creator prioritizes the ability to remain in a chosen state, regardless of their environment. This approach is based on the idea that the outer physical world reflects an inner psychological state. If you think of your life as a document, the external world is the printout, while your consciousness is the program. Leonardo da Vinci exemplified this by mastering the internal mechanics of a concept before bringing it to life. His notebooks show a deep structural analysis, visualizing how things work at the core. By focusing intensely on this internal blueprint, the distinction between person and process fades. Consciousness becomes so attuned that the creative act is a natural extension of their being. At this level, reality creation becomes a byproduct of who you are. When the internal state reaches a point of absolute stability and clarity, the external world eventually reorganizes itself to match that internal program. Reaching this state involves the 10,000-hour principle applied to your own awareness. It means a daily, meticulous auditing of your thought patterns and emotional reactions to ensure they align with the reality you intend to build. You also must develop field intelligence, the strategic management of your energetic ecology. This means curating your physical surroundings and social circle to ensure they reinforce, rather than dampen, your creative signal. Advanced creators also use a technique of pulling intuition from a hypothetical future self. By imagining the perspective of the version of you who has already succeeded, you can access insights and solutions that your current, more limited perspective might overlook. Albert Einstein demonstrated this fusion of intuition and logic. He used thought experiments to imagine complex physical realities, then used rigorous mathematics to prove those intuitive leaps were correct. These practices transform manifestation into a methodical process. By aligning rational discipline with intuitive insight, you move away from passive wishing and toward a predictable system for shaping your experience. The final destination is the dimensional mind, a state where creating your reality becomes as effortless as any other natural function. In this state, your knowledge has been so thoroughly internalized that it operates as pure instinct. This level of mastery is the force driving your lifelong fascinations. Those specific subjects or engaging activities that always pull your attention are signals of the specific kind of reality you were meant to bring into existence. Every unexplained yearning for something more has been a signal from your potential future, confirming that the exact path you're walking leads to a version of yourself that is already fully realized. Extraordinary mastery is a birthright available to anyone willing to submit to the necessary discipline. It is the natural result of cultivating your awareness to its full capacity and persisting through the phases of growth. The path is open. To begin your apprenticeship and join a community of creators dedicated to this work, visit the Reality Revolution. Claim your mastery and start building your authentic reality today.